Jacob, and we are going for a drive.
2024 Mercedes-AMG GT63
S E-Performance 4-door coupe with race start. Oh my... Holy crap.
Man, that reminded me of like the first time I launched the E63S wagon.
That was violent.
Horsepower and torque.
A combined 831 horsepower and 1,084 pound-feet of torque from a hybrid, handcrafted 4-liter twin-turbo V8.
Yeah, it's good. That's a good launch.
Yo, we're getting over this 1,000 torque number kind of frequently now.
It's kind of like kind of a joke.
Yeah, it's getting insane. Yeah, so that launch, I really felt that 1,000+ pound-feet of torque. It's a very similar powertrain to what we experienced in the S63 because that was also a plug-in hybrid, just like this is. Don't expect to get much range out of the plug-in hybrid. You do get the benefit of having a green plate and actually being able to plug it in. But what I've seen on the gauge is only about 15 kilometers total range, which is whatever. It's here to add power with Mercedes F1 technology.
The coolest part is that the charging flap is in the butt of the car.
Which also kind of made it annoying when I had to charge it at home. I preferred the S-Class setup, but...
This looks neat.
Yeah. So you can charge it relatively quickly. If you just leave this thing in race mode, it'll charge ridiculously fast to the point that you don't even need to really plug this in. You could just drive this thing. And dialing this into comfort, which is the default mode that it starts in, it actually starts in fully electric, and you can even drive this in fully electric mode as well. So really cool technology. I love how they're implementing these types of hybrids where they add power, but also give you a little bit of benefit when you want it for a plug-in hybrid.
Is this not more comfortable than that S-Class was?
Honestly, it does feel like the suspension is softer than the S63.
I feel like this is nicer.
I know. I don't know if that was down to the tires or something, or the wheel size, but this does feel softer and more comfortable.
Like if I was to daily one of them and I want it to be more comfortable.
Which is shocking to say, but I do agree. All right, let's rip this thing a little bit. Oh, dude, this feels great through here. Oh man, it's so quick and composed. It's so easy to drive this thing because it's all-wheel drive 4MATIC. Like, you can also put this into drift mode, making this 100% rear-wheel drive with full traction off.
Yeah,
so there's that.
That's fine. I love the 4MATIC Plus.
And so with the all-wheel drive system, it is actually an e-motor on the rear axle, and we do have a medium-sized battery. I think it's a 6.1 kilowatt-hour battery, and it is over the rear axle, so you can see the hump in the trunk, robbing us of some trunk space.
I still fit 2 carry-ons in there comfortably, so...
Yeah, but I did try to put a case of wine in there, and because it was still open...
Case of wine? You're buying wine by the case?
No, I just got a case of wine to put all my liquor bottles in. And this is a V8. It's not some weird 4-cylinder plug-in hybrid thing yet. Thank you.
And we got the signature?
Yes, we do. It's a handcrafted engine. And Yuri, we do have a new sponsor that just came on board.
Shout out TotalEnergies.
TotalEnergies, they sponsored us. It is a oil and lubricant company. And TotalEnergies sponsored some of my favorite WRC drivers, both Sebastian Loeb and Sebastian Ogier. Now, they are sponsoring my favorite YouTube channel, TheStraightPipes.
So you're on the same level as them now, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So I do want to introduce something with this new sponsor, the dipstick test.
Are we the dipsticks?
No, the dipstick is in the engine bay, potentially, sometimes. So with this Mercedes, there is no dipstick.
How do we check the oil?
You actually check it through the gauge cluster. So you actually have to do this. You press back, get this over, go over to the right screen, go to service, and then it tells you engine level, okay, min-max.
But we can do it while driving?
Yes, according to this.
So that's better than a BMW usually is?
Yes.
So this passes the dipstick test?
Well, it fails the dipstick test, but it is still an appropriate way to measure it.
So then what would be the TotalEnergies recommended oil for the new AMG GT63, whatever it's called?
That would be the TotalEnergies Quartz 0W40 or the 5W40. Always check the manufacturer's recommended guidelines. Now, I do want to talk about this transmission because it's not the same setup as we had in the S63. It is not a 2-speed thing with like an e-motor thing. So it's just a regular...
That one had a weird clunk that you could feel.
Yeah,
right?
you could feel the e-motor kind of doing the transfer case thing. This one you don't feel that because it doesn't have it. This is just a regular 9-speed auto. So it shifts actually pretty quickly. I'm just going to floor it. I am in race mode. Oh my God. Wow, that's quick.
I noticed that like when you're just giving it a little gas, the electricity torque feels super nicely.
Yes, in between, like while you're waiting for the downshift and the turbos to spool up.
I feel like sometimes it's almost like just give them electricity, don't even give them gas.
Yeah, like right now if I do like a partial, like there and then there, it's really nice. This is such a quick car.
Okay, what about in comfort? Because you're in track mode right now, and that's a little crazy.
I'll dial myself over here. We'll get to all these buttons in a minute, but comfort mode.
Slow her down. Let the computer think you're actually a comfort driver.
I'm so comfortable right now. You know what? I am comfortable. Let me just hit my favorites button and turn on my massage. Classic massage for you and I.
I'll take some.
Okay, ready? That's 100% electric, and now.
Yeah. So if you were not flooring it and easing it in, like I said earlier, it would have given you electricity for a lot longer.
It would have.
You friggin'
But I'm an animal.
gorilla.
0 to 60 is under 3 seconds, even though this thing weighs a lot, which is a feat of engineering. So congratulations to Mercedes on that.
Hey, that Chris Harris thing he said in his podcast about heavy cars.
Yes.
It only matters if they feel heavy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why that guy's the best automotive journalism.
And this does feel heavy, but it also just scoots along as if it isn't heavy.
Hit the brakes, hit the brakes.
See, that's where you feel the weight. Even though we do have carbon ceramics, I think it's your turn to drive.
Before we start doing anything, my favorite thing that no other current Mercedes has, we've got the seat buttons on the door panel.
What do you mean? Every Mercedes has this.
They're not the ones that actually like push.
Yes.
No, they're capacitive ones that are
Oh.
awful. This is an actual like
this moves.
feedback thing.
Gotcha. Oh, and
my.
one cool thing is that you can actually control my seat, which they've also removed from other stuff.
And it's got the swoop from the old E and S.
And the infotainment is kind of also old but updated. And we also have this stuff, which is kind of old but updated.
Touchpad and the buttons.
It's kind of a sweet spot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Spoil me with that 2020 stuff.
All right, Yuri, now that I've transferred my seatbelt sweat to the other side, send it. So fast.
That's probably the best launch of the year.
It's so good. And the seatbelt tightens up, making
Like,
me sweat more.
that is like the perfect feeling, I think.
It's really good.
Without being like scared to the point where I'm going to like, you know.
Yeah, and it does a little bit of skating from that rear axle, but like
Obviously
man.
like the supercars that are rear-wheel drive and you're like, I don't know if I could stay in this, are like crazier.
Yes.
But that felt great.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Such a solid launch.
All right. Other stuff. What do you want to talk about? Do you like this spec, blue with white interior?
I want to talk about that white steering wheel. Dude, unreal. I
Yeah.
didn't expect it when I got in here. I'm like, white steering wheel, excuse me? This is the boldest thing I've ever seen.
Well, remember Corvette for the Z06 had like photos of a red steering wheel that they bailed on.
Yes.
Because they're like, nah, we can't do this. And then Mercedes swoops in and they're like, nah, we can do it.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I was doing something in my garage and my hands got dirty and I got in here because I had to move the car. I was like, well, this is stupid. But it is cool as a press car to experience.
Yeah, I like it. You just got to have a couple of backups on order.
And the funny thing is, now that this is like, it's been an updated generation, but it's also kind of a generation back in this car. We do have the nice mode dials and a full selection, just like we do on every new Mercedes-AMG.
On the steering wheel, yeah, super easy to use.
So those controls, just those two little knobs, have made every single one of these completely redundant.
Well, these are the little screens. Before they used to be like
Physical,
buttons.
yeah.
This is all cool though. I don't mind doubling it up.
The one thing that isn't doubled up is this volumes thing. So you can't actually do that there, which you have on the steering wheel on the thing.
Yeah, it's just a slider. Okay, it's cool. And then we still have the trackpad, which can control stuff. And then we can touch 360 camera and everything. And unlike the newer Mercedes, this one doesn't have the rear camera popping up every single time you slow down or anything. So the look of it stays looking nice.
Exactly. And then we do have this button that always stays to the exhaust mode. So it does have a valved exhaust. And let's take a listen to the outside. What about the inside? You hear that little blow off?
Yeah.
You definitely hear blow off valves on this, or bypass valves. Now, give me mid throttle right now, just like half throttle, a little bit more than half. You get crackles and pops as well. See, it's pumped in.
Doesn't feel pumped in.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
It feels like it's the real sound that's just been amplified a little bit, which is nice. It's
But not
that
too
like
much.
Yeah, it's not that like AMG thing where they're doing on like 4 and 6 cylinders. It feels nice.
That's nice. Okay, can we talk about the looks a little bit?
Yes, sorry, the spec. We do have a Magno, which is Mercedes matte on the exterior blue, and I kind of do like it.
Yeah, it's nice. Matches, blue and white matches nice.
It does.
You guys can run that for a couple years instead of Nardo gray. I'm definitely all right with that.
Yeah, although matte paints are more difficult to maintain, I did have to just like pressure wash this in my driveway rather than taking this through a car wash. So that is a real thing because you don't want to put waxes on this.
Wheels are sweet.
Yes. Carbon ceramic brakes,
gold. Are the wheels cooler than that CLE53?
They're not cooler, they're just more classic. You can't go wrong with these.
I feel like they're appropriate for this. Yeah, it won't be the Continental recommended tire for whatever this is called.
The name's way too long. The Continental Conti Sport Contact 5P.
Do you like that this kind of matches current Mercedes styling, even though it's like the same body as the older ones? Like
I'm okay with it.
The headlights are kind of similar to that now, and
I'm definitely okay with it.
It's a good mix. It's a good blend.
Yep.
There's like nothing to be mad about.
No, exactly. At this point, I'm just happy this still has a V8.
Cute little spoiler pops up. You can make it pop up with that button.
There is a button right there.
And then the normal AMG exhaust tips. Nothing about this looks fake AMG to me or weird AMG, and I love the red badges.
Yeah.
That's cool. I guess you see a red badge, you know it's got 1,000 torque.
Exactly. And a green plate. And then we have carbon fiber accents as well.
Brake pedal coming to a full stop. Doesn't feel weird.
It's like a little bit weird sometimes, but to the point that it doesn't bother me.
There was one time I was coming up to a car with my brake pedal, and then the brake pedal pressure changed, and I got that gut feeling, like I'm about to crash, that like you get when you're about to crash, or when you go on a roller coaster, and that made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Once, so I don't like that.
It's not a deal breaker, but it is noticeably different than a regular brake pedal.
Yeah, there's just like a little weirdness once that I didn't like. Okay, now let me see if I can treat comfort like I would on my daily drive. All right, where is comfort? Why is there
You went 42 settings over.
C, okay.
We should talk about how many more drive modes there are.
So like, okay, if I was just chilling, this is all electricity. It's all electric boost.
But the V8's still on.
This is working so perfectly in harmony.
Yeah.
Whoever engineered this.
And check this out. If you press this, you can now adjust your regen, which I found sometimes not working because we're already at about 100% battery.
Yeah,
so it doesn't need to, because it recharges so quickly.
I love the electric boost to this.
I know.
This is unreal.
This is the way forward. If you're going to do these hybrids, just add power.
Yo, if Corvette did it this way, I think I'd also be. If this was the E-Ray.
Hey.
The AMG GT Ray.
Oh, man.
Copyright infringement out there. Wahoo.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this interior, because I want to talk about the sound system. Burmeister, high end. It is insanely good. Yuri, let me put on a song for you.
Is it a good song or is it a bad song?
Oh, dude, it's a really good song. It's my favorite current song right now. You ready? Big X the plug, the largest.
Yeah, that's all right. It sounded a little tinny at the start.
Well, that's because it's the instruments that were in the song. But
is it too much treble on it?
No, I cranked up the bass 100%.
All right. Yeah, it's all right. I'm not like blown away.
Oh, I was. I love the bass on this thing. It was sick. And then we do have matte carbon in here, which is a fairly expensive option.
It works. It really works nicely in here. We could probably have like the best ambient lighting of all time.
We do, and we got those fun Mercedes colors like Malibu Sunset and whatever. And the materials in here, top notch as always. And because this isn't the newest Mercedes, we don't just have like a massive one screen, right?
Yeah,
Which this will eventually probably get.
I love the hard buttons for the climate. This is my favorite button is the hazard button.
Okay, interesting. Did you know that these are capacitive? So if you slide your finger along, you can see it up there.
Oh, like an Audi.
Yeah, or like an old BMW.
No, if they introduced this infotainment as their new infotainment, they would get so much praise.
MBUX 3.0. The one thing that doesn't get praised, cup holders. Like, look at this. It's actually terrible. That's a medium.
Yeah, that's bad.
So that's a fail,
That's
but whatever.
Bad. Just stop drinking coffee. Hydrate yourself with water.
Yeah, that's probably the smartest thing to do. Visors, suede.
Only one? 3, 2, 1.
Full pass.
Full pass. How about the back seats?
I do fit actually back there.
5-seater, or are they all 4-seaters?
This one's a 4-seater. I believe you can get a 5-seater.
Oh, I thought they were all 4-seaters.
I believe you can get a 5-seater.
Woo! I just get 4-seater. That's too cool.
It is.
That whole like center thing that travels all the way to the back is nice. And it is a hatchback.
Yes.
Not a regular trunk, which is cool.
Yeah, it's like an Audi RS7 which we've previously driven.
Seats are comfortable. Everything in here is comfortable. Everything here is nice.
Yeah. Oh, and the seats also do have the when you turn,
yeah,
the bolsters inflate.
It's
so
like
old,
it's old school style Mercedes
nice,
stuff that
nice.
everything used to have.
Yeah. And the suspension is air suspension, so it is adaptive. It changes between the modes. I find it to be comfortable in all the modes, not too aggressive in race mode or the stiffest mode, and it does have active roll control with roll stabilization, so it is pretty flat through the corners.
This would be a good bad guy car.
Definitely a good bad guy car.
Probably catch all the good guys too quickly. Maybe that's why it's a bad guy car.
If you got this in matte black, damn. But you can't get a white interior then for a bad guy car.
I feel like a bad guy car's got to be 10 years old.
Yeah,
because it's got to go off jumps on camera, right?
And it probably has to be an Audi or something.
No. They used S classes in Fast and Furious 5. You know those like Italian bad guy muscle car guys from Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
He was one of the bad guy stunt drivers in Fast 5, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my god. Crackles. Handles pretty nice.
Too much power for a regular road.
It's so much power.
Would you take this to the track? I don't even know.
I don't know. Probably not.
What would you do with it? Put it in like a drift mode, do a couple donuts?
No, I'd probably just flex on everybody on the street. Like, that's about it.
It's almost like unusable.
I mean, it's usable because you're not like slipping around all over the place, but you got to be very
like
careful.
The wear and tear on the brakes for such a heavy car on one day in the track is going to cost you so much, right?
Yeah, well, you're rich because you got one of these. This thing's exceptionally expensive.
Yeah, okay, well, gauge cluster's cool, lots, all the cool modes, head-up display, you get all the cool stuff. Pretty much everything that's normal Mercedes.
Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, wired or wireless.
Perfect, we can slide down for shortcuts and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's great.
The 360 camera, I think we mentioned earlier, is great. Like, there's nothing I don't like about this. My only thing is, do I like the idea of having an S-Class more than do I like the idea of having a GT63? Like, S-Class is kind of cooler.
Yeah.
But everything about it is better than the one we drove, I think.
Yeah, I also agree with you. It's tough. It's so quick. Like, the S-Class was also quick, but this hits harder.
Yeah, I like this. I think I like this. I like this.
And this sounds better, obviously, because and it's, like, price-wise, it's kind of close.
Okay. Is there anything else to really talk about before we get to the price?
I think that's it, Yuri.
Hit me with it.
This one starts at $214,500
Canadian.
And this one is optioned out to $255,245.
Can you refresh me on the cost of that S-Class?
It was spec'd out to $270,000. So, like, spitting distance for rich people.
I would love to see, like, two rich guys at a golf course. They both show up with their red badge Mercedes, and they, like, try to, like, talk crap to each other to see whose is better. Or, like, I want to hear that conversation between those two guys trying to defend their purchases.
Okay, I do want to bring in the Audi RS7 into this, because we drove that. And that was, like, nearly $100,000 less than this. Is this worth nearly $100,000 more than an Audi RS7? In
my mind, the hierarchy of German luxury vehicles, this is higher than that.
I agree.
Because there is no non-RS7, right? There is no non-AMG GT.
Right. Well, there's lesser 63s, right? There's like a 53.
But they're all AMGs.
Yes.
There are 7s that aren't RS.
Like an A7.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I mean...
Interesting justification, but I get it.
A modified RS7 is probably way cooler than this.
Well, I don't know about cooler, because I don't love how those 4-liter twin turbos sound ever. They're just like airy. It's tough.
It's hit or miss.
It's so much more money for this, but you also get over 1,000 pound-feet, which is like the ultimate flex, and it's a plug-in hybrid. I can't say value, but I see the benefits of this.
I see the benefits. I see why all of them appeal to someone different.
Yes.
I'm not mad at either of them.
Let us know which one you guys would pick. Is it this one? Is it the RS7? Is it the S63?
And if you're super rich, do you even use tsp.truecar.com, or do you just kind of tell your butler which car you're thinking about and hope they show up in your driveway?
Exactly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys at the next video. And big shout out to TotalEnergies for joining us as a title sponsor.
Click the link below.